I'm back with some of your most requested footage from my time spent on the streets of America. As always, I want to start off with a trigger warning, because today we're getting real dark. So if you're easily disturbed, maybe don't watch this one. Okay, here we go. Black screen. I just want you to picture a busy city street and hear the sirens wailing in the background. There's soft wind blowing through the trees, lining the sidewalk, and a woman's soft crying. I don't want to make it too graphic, but it's a sad cry, like someone who is mourning the loss of a loved one. It's soft and mournful. You could hear a car door slam shut, and then the sound of footsteps pacing. The camera pans up slowly, revealing the side of a building with an exit sign hanging above the door that reads, "Fire escape only." A lone light flickers on in the top window of the building. The light reflects in the glass of a shop window across the street, and for a split second, you see two sets of eyes staring back. Two glowing orbs of malevolent energy in the darkness. Then they vanish. And now, you hear me? They walk past them every day, but never asked their name, okay? As those words fade away, another set of eyes come into view. This time, they belong to a young woman. She sits alone on the curb, staring straight ahead with an empty look on her face. Her eyes are vacant and soulless. They hold the weight of 1,000 lifetimes of sadness. She's been there a long time. You can tell by the dirt that's gathered on her clothes and the way her hair has become entangled with the weeds growing between the cracks in the pavement. But no one seems to notice her. No one ever asks her name. A low voice cuts through the sounds of the city. You think you know America? Wait till you hear this story. Mark Laita is arguably one of the most important photographers alive right now. He travels all over the United States, meeting and photographing homeless people and those living on society's fringes. He doesn't just take their pictures, though. He takes their stories too and gives them a voice to share their experiences with the world. And he's had some very interesting things to say about the state of America, especially when it comes to mental health and homelessness. In fact, one of his photographs was so powerful it went viral. The photo features a homeless man who had been living on the streets for 23 years after losing his mind following the death of his wife. The image struck such a chord with viewers that it became one of the most popular photos of all time. After seeing that image and hearing that story, I began searching for more of Mark's work, but I couldn't find much of it online. That's when I realized that Mark doesn't post his work online at all. His images have been featured in Time magazine, The Guardian, Wired, and The Huffington Post. But to see his work, you actually have to go out and buy a copy of one of his books. Now, that seems strange to me. Why would he have so much mainstream attention and recognition, yet not have an online presence or even social media accounts? Well, it turns out that he prefers to keep his personal life private, and that's why he does unhave any social media accounts. However, I did manage to get my hands on some of his books, and I found them absolutely fascinating. Each book is like a glimpse into a world that most people choose to ignore, a world of forgotten souls living on the margins of society. Some of the stories he tells are truly heartbreaking, like the story of a homeless man who pushed another man off a bridge just so he could be first in line to receive government assistance, or the story of a woman who lived in a tent and made jewelry out of plastic bags, each piece a testament to her struggle and resilience. But not all of the stories are dark. Some of them are actually pretty funny. It's like the story of a homeless man who made a fortune selling Christmas trees on the side of the road, or the story of a woman who started a successful business selling homemade tamales from her car. What I found most interesting about these stories is that they read all true, and they all happened right here in the United States, a country that prides itself on being the land of opportunity. Yet there are so many people who are living in poverty and destitution right under our noses. One of the stories that really stood out to me was the story of a homeless man who had been living on the streets for over 20 years. He told Mark that he had a plan for his life after he got out of prison. Hey, he was going to go to college, get a job, start a family. But then he got addicted to drugs, and everything went downhill from there. He said he'd tried to get clean many times, but it was hard. Everyone thinks you're crazy, he told Mark. They won't let you live with them. They won't let you work for them. They won't even let you be a human being. They just see you as a drug addict. It's hard to change people's minds once they've made up their minds about you. The man told Mark that he'd given up on having a normal life. I'm not even trying anymore. I'm just trying to stay alive, he said. Another story that really resonated with me was the story of a homeless woman who had been living on the streets for over 10 years. She told Mark that she'd been through a lot of trauma in her life, including being in an abusive relationship and giving birth to 7 children. She said that she'd been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that's what led her to the streets. I couldn't take care of myself, let alone 7 kids, she said. I was sick and I needed help, but no one was there to help me. The woman told Mark that she didn't want to be on the streets, but she felt like she had no other choice. I'm not even asking for much, she said. I just want a place to call home. What really struck me about these stories is the humanity of the people who shared them. These are real people with real struggles, not just homeless people. These are people who are going through unimaginable circumstances and still managing to hold on to their dignity and hope. And that's something that I think we can all learn from. I also found it interesting that these stories were told in such a matter-of-fact way. Mark didn't try to sensationalize anything or make the stories more dramatic than they already were. He simply captured the reality of these people's lives and gave them a voice. And that's something that I think is incredibly important. So the next time you think that your life is tough, just remember that there are people who are going through way worse than you are, and they are still managing to make the best of it. And hey, I'm just saying, maybe we should all be a little bit more like them. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.